What is up, everybody, and welcome back to our Team Sky Career Mode, where today we have a huge one. We start off with our main objective for the season, Milano-San Remo. We move into some of the classics, including Gent-Wevelgem, which we'll probably show, Dwars van Vlaanderen, the Ronde van Vlaanderen, and we will end things off with Paris-Roubaix. So, three monuments, a lot of our season objectives packed into one episode. But I think with the form we're in, this is going to be really, really great for us. And we will start off here with our main objective, Milano-San Remo, a 294.7 kilometer flat monument, which if you watch the Pro Cyclist mode, we are very familiar with. So I think with the looks of the riders we have a really good shot to win this one. Ben Healy, Mark Hirschi, Oscar Onley, Ide Skelling, Fred Wright. I mean, any one of those four riders could take this. But we're going to have to be on guard, and we're really just going to look to make a move up the Poggio at the last. And we are here with 30k to go, just at the base of La Cipressa. And we are using Ilan van Wilder to try and pull back this breakaway group. Alberto Bettiol's up the road. He's probably the biggest danger as Masnada decides he wants to make a little dig as well. But we're just going to set on our pace here, try and stick with this group, and then if we can, attack up the Poggio, which it's looking like we should be able to. Mark Hirschi's the guy that I wanted to push for the win, but it looks like he's struggling a little bit back there, so we're going to set it to 87. Everybody's caught up. Mario Van Sevenons leading everybody out. But we're just going to keep this pressure up. Fred Wright kind of falling off the back there. So that's unfortunate for him. But we've still got Skelling, Healy, Onley, Hirschi ready to attack this final climb. And here with 11k left, we have started the Poggio climb. And we are going to pace our guys to the top. Right now, Ide Skelling doing the work. Matthias Skelmosa trying to leave us in his dust, but that is just not happening. We're going to move it back to 89, and we're going to let Ben Healy attack this very soon, right about now. Ide Skelling can go ahead and do his own thing. Oscar Onley can also try to attack over the top and bring with him Mark Hirschi and Fred Wright. It looks like there is a tiny bit of a gap. Mark Hirschi's going to go ahead and start his attack over the top, and it looks like he's going to regain a decent amount of stamina on this descent. Oscar Onley and Ben Healy going to be told to do their own thing, but let's get back to Hirschi in the front. Fred Wright falling behind. Mark Hirschi's downhill stat is incredible. But now, with 5k left, we're going to pop both energy gels. We have to be in a great position here with two pretty good sprinty punchers, as Mark Hirschi is going to go up to about 86, 87. Fred Wright using some energy to try to get back on his wheel. As the energy gel pops, Mark Hirschi is going to look to start his sprint right about now. And Fred Wright right on his tail. He's going to pop that sprint with about 1k to go, and it's going to be who has the most stamina left, and it's going to be Tish Benoot. Unfortunately followed closely by Fred Wright and Jonathan Narvaez, and Mark Hirschi ends up in 5th place. So not a bad result, but we couldn't get the monument win that we desperately wanted. But with that being said, our goal was a top 10, and we do end up with 2 riders in the top 5. We'll take that every day of the week. Also, good finishes for Ben Healy in 13th, Oscar Onley in 17th, and Ide Skelling ending up in 21st. But we are going to look to rebound quickly with another objective for us. This time it's a top 5 at Gent-Wevelgem in Flanders Fields. A 245.3 kilometer flat cobbled stage, but as you can see on the stage profile, there are not a ton of cobbles. So I think somebody like Ethan Vernon could be in play here if his stamina holds up. But we're really going to be looking at Emil Herzog, Sam Watson, Vlad van Mechelen, one of those three to try and pip someone and get into that top 5. And we are here with 39k left. Josh Tarling leading our group of boys over these few hills, the Bonnenberg, as Van Dijk and Soren Kragh Andersen look to try and get away, but we're not letting that happen. Josh Tarling is just a force to be reckoned with. Whatever he wants to happen on the flats happens, and I am glad he's on our team, but we just have to make it over these final few hills, and it will be dead flat to the finish, where we're going to look to set up Herzog, Vernon, and Watson. One of those three is going to be our guy today. And here with 10k to go, we do have Ide Skelling on the front. Emil Herzog is going to get ready to take over after him. But Skelling has done a great job of fighting off these late attacks from Mathieu van der Poel and the like. So we're actually going to move him up. He can consider his job done for the day. And we're going to have Emil Herzog try to defend this move from Yves Lampard and Mathieu van der Poel. We can't let that go. Ethan Vernon is in a good spot here as our sprinter. So is Sam Watson, really, but attacks coming up either side. Van der Poel takes off into the distance. We don't have that Barrador type to really close that down solo, so we're just going to have to set Herzog on an even higher tempo, burn out his bar a little bit, but Van der Poel looking like he has a commanding lead right now. And Herzog, we're going to sit on the sprint till about 1.9 to go. Ethan Vernon going to get ready to pop his right about now. Sam Watson can go ahead and do the same, but it looks like other riders may just have a little bit more. It's Mathieu van der Poel, followed by Arnaud Delis, Max Walscheid, and Ethan Vernon comes in 4th place. And we get another season objective checked off the list there. And here we see our final results. Ethan Vernon in 4th. Sam Watson grabs a top 10 for himself, and Emil Herzog coming in 19th. I know it's not a win again, but it does feel good to be in the top 5 of all these World Tour races over and over again. And up next we have the main tune-up race for the Ronde van Vlaanderen, the Dwars door Vlaanderen, a 177 kilometer cobbled flat stage. And the only change to our team from last race is Emil Herzog is out and Ben Healy is in. I think Ben gives us a little better chance at winning this there towards the end, as this isn't an objective. We don't have to secure top 5 or anything. We're really going to go all out this race. And here with just about 20k left to go, the breakaway group still has about a minute, but we are closing them down with Oyer Lescano. And there are attacks going left and right here. There's no rest for any weary legs at this point. And we're just going to keep working at chasing this group down. Josh Tarling, you can actually go get water bottles and see if we can get past this last cobbled section and unleash Ben Healy and Sam Watson. And with 10.5k to go, we're going to hit Herligemstraat. And Ide Skelling is going to try and lead our boys over to this leading group of Christophe Laporte and Florian Seneschal. Not an easy task by any means, but Skelling actually keeping that gap pretty close, and Ben Healy is going to be the next to take over. But Skelling getting us up and over this hill way better than I thought he was actually going to do, so that's really nice. Skelling also almost completely out of stamina, and it's Ben Healy's turn to take over. Skelling has done a great job today too, but Healy, Watson, Vernon, 4.5k left. We're going to pop the energy gel on all of them and crank this pace up to 95 for Ben Healy. We do not want Vermeersch to go right now, and we're not going to let him. And I think this is a twisty finish, so we're going to go ahead and sprint with Ben Healy from a little ways out. Get ready for Sam Watson to take over right about now. Vermeersch, though, still being able to stay on that power, as Sam Watson will just get eaten up by the pack. And it's going to be Arnaud Demar, Luca Mazzato, Mathis Louvel, as Sam Watson comes across the line in 9th place. So not a great finish here for us. And that's going to lead us to our next monument, the second one of the episode, the Ronde van Vlaanderen. And it is a 256.9 kilometer hilly cobbled stage. And as you can see, a flat finish, not really going to suit our guys. But we do have a lot of guys that are good in the hills, not so much on the cobbles as well. But Ide Skelling, Ben Healy, Fred Wright, the usual suspects, going to be all in with a shot at this one. And our objective is to get a top 10. It's going to be tough, but I think that's about the ceiling that we can hope for, is about a top 10. And with 36k to go, we are trying to pull back this front group. Some pretty strong riders in there. Thibaut Nice, Anthony Turgi. I forget who else is in there. Mate Mahoric. Very strong front group, so we have expended a ton of riders to try and pull them back. Ilan van Wilder is the last to basically crack on our team, but it looks like we are pulling them back pretty quick. There is a rider about a minute up the road, and if we check to see who it is, it's Mathieu van der Poel, so good luck to us. Skelling has a very tough job to do here, but Fred Wright, Ben Healy still in a great spot, and we're going to fight to pull him back, and Ide Skelling's actually going to use himself up here on this little climb. I say little climb, it's actually a pretty devastating climb, and Fred Wright's going to go ahead and take over after Skelling's done. We're going to have to pull him back to about 85, and we're going to have to nurse both him and Ben Healy over these last couple of climbs. And with 20k left, we're coming up to the Clermont for the last time. Fred Wright is going to get Ben Healy ready to attack as soon as Fred's red bar drops out right there. Ben Healy's going to get on it and try and get a little bit of distance. Fred can do his own thing, and Ben is going to set his effort a little lower than 85. We need to recover slightly on this downhill. We do have a gap of about 22 seconds to the group behind. Maybe we pushed it a little too hard. We're about to find out. The least we can do is get him some water before this last little climb and try and stay away on that flat section. But right now, things looking pretty good for Ben Healy. As we come up to the Paterberg, we're going to have to use some of that stamina, and we're actually going to attack a little bit and set him to really recover on this last downhill. See if we can get any kind of red bar back, and it's just not coming fast enough. We have 52 seconds over the group behind. That gap seems to be pretty stable. We're going to actually move Ben Healy to 65, and still with 11k left, that gap is closing, and I don't think we're going to hold it until the end. But with the day that Ben Healy's having, we also fancy our chances in a sprint finish, so we're not quite out of it just yet. And with 5k left, we still have a gap of about 25 seconds. Ben Healy's energy in a much better spot, so we're going to go ahead and turn that pace back up, try and extend that gap. It looks like we're getting closed down, and it's on Ben to keep his stamina up towards the end of the line, but it is just so close right now. We're going to have to manage it perfectly if we want to come away with this Ronde van Vlaanderen. And right now, with 1k left, our red bar starts to go down. We're going to put in a little bit of a sprint finish, and it looks like it's going to be Ben Healy to take another monument for Team Sky, our first Ronde van Vlaanderen. And I did not expect that result, but I will take it. What a win for Ben Healy here in Belgium. And there we see Ben Healy on the top step of the podium at the Ronde van Vlaanderen. A huge win, huge for the sponsors, huge for the team. And I think this really signals our intent for the rest of the year. With Paris-Roubaix coming up, an informed Ben Healy is a scary thought, as the second best British team goes ahead and wins the team classification. And we are going to look to keep the good times rolling at Paris-Roubaix, a race that we are not traditionally very good at. So I don't have high hopes, but I didn't have high hopes for the Ronde either. So maybe we get lucky twice. This is a 261.9 kilometer, incredibly difficult cobbled flat stage. I think the best we're going to be looking at here is maybe a top 20. It is a minor objective. They want us to get a top 10. I don't know how doable that is. Fred Wright in good form, Ben Healy in good form, Mark Hirschi not so much, but Oyer Lascano can do some of the heavy lifting. It's going to be tough, but we're going to try and find a way to get into the top 10. And here with 69k to go, the entire Alpecin de Koenig team has fallen. And that means everybody else is going to hit the gas. Ben Healy did have a puncture earlier. Fred Wright, unfortunately, did just puncture. And Mathieu van der Poel is behind, so now I guess it's on us to keep up with Pedersen, Pollitt, Vermeer, Seneschal, and put some distance between our boys and the Alpecin de Koenig train. And here with 42k to go, Oyer Lascano basically done for the day. And we are out of riders for Ben Healy, so it's been another brutal Paris-Roubaix. We can't let Wout go. We have to push the effort there. But Wout's going to go regardless. We don't have the legs to keep up. And unfortunately, it looks like our lack of a true cobbled ace is going to be our downfall here, as we're still 30 seconds behind this front group with Van Aert and Van der Poel. And Oyer Lascano done for our best rider. And here with 17k left to go, going through L'Arber, it looks like Ben Healy's time in the front group has just about finished, as we see a crash there. And now, well, that red bar does recover quite a bit, and we are still here with the group of favorites. So I guess we can never say never. It looks like everybody taking it pretty easy through this cobbled section. Lets Ben Healy recover and might keep us in this group until the line. Ben Healy just continuing to recover. Now might be a good time to attack, but I don't want to risk it as Wout van Aert goes up the road, which should mean other people will close it down, and we're not going to let that group get away from us. We've done too good of a job today, as it's Van Aert and Van der Poel up by themselves, and they are always the two most likely to win this stage. But Ben Healy still decent stamina left. I really thought we might be out of it by this stage, and now we're gonna move that up just to make sure we stay with this group through this last cobbled sector, and then it's really anybody's game as long as we can pull back Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel. But it is People Ghana pulling everybody through right now. 7k left. Van Aert and Van der Poel, do they have a big enough advantage to stay away until the end? Right now it's 30 seconds, and it looks like that gap's growing. Nobody really pacing too hard right now. Mads Pedersen, of course, is not going to pace when he's going to be favorite for the sprint finish. So we're going to go ahead and pop our energy gel and set our effort. What do we have to lose as we come into the velodrome for the first lap? And it looks like this pace is going to be just a bit too high. Our stamina not in a great spot. We're actually going to move it down to 55. Still 2k left. That energy gel has not popped, as Ben Healy going to lead out for the finish of Paris-Roubaix and start our sprint, but we just do not have the legs there towards the end, as it's going to be Casper Asgreen to come around for the win. Florian Seneschal in second, Ben Turner in third, and I'm going to be very interested to see where we end up. It's not going to be a top 10, but can we cling to a top 5? We just can't. Yves Lampard beats us to it. We come across the line in 22nd place. And just before we bring this episode to an end, I took a look at our scouting department, and I've seen what might be the best youngster I've ever seen in this game, Diego de Meester. I mean, 18 years old, 6-star potential already 73 in the hills, 70 stamina, 71 recovery. I think this is going to be one that we're going to look to sign to our first team immediately for next season. But the stats on him are just insane. I can't wait to see how he develops. But if you did enjoy the content, please feel free to leave a like or subscribe. I put out one episode of this series every weekend and one episode of our Pro Cyclist series during the week. And this week I even added a little strategy game in there, the Lamplighters League. But as always, just wanted to say thank you, and I will see you later.